Okay, this is Magellan's week 1 video recap. So I do like to start out by offering him the flirt pull, see if he's at all interested in playing. What is that, bud? I will also offer this to him once or twice throughout each training session just to kind of give him a little bit of a break. Now I see your tail wagging, bud. So if at any point Jelly does grab onto this toy, I might put some light opposition on it, but I am certainly not going to pull him across the floor or lift him up off of the ground, okay? What do you think, bud? Oh, what is that? Get it. Oh my goodness. And sometimes the puppies aren't too interested in the toy to start, and that's fine. If they're not interested, we'll just move right into the training exercise. I feel like sometimes when we bring them down here, they know that it's time to train and they're gonna get food. So sometimes they're a little more interested in just working for the food to start. But again, I like to at least offer this to them. What is that, buddy? Get it. Get it. Oh my goodness. He's thinking about it. What a good boy. He's so gentle. What is that? Get it, buddy. So we'll do this for another minute. Oh, there we go. Are you grabbing onto it now? What do you think, bud? What is that? Oh my goodness. All right, I think we're gonna get started. And then like I said, around the halfway point, we'll take another break and I'll see if he's interested in this. All right, first thing that we do in week 1, and actually at the beginning of each training session, is we're gonna charge our clicker. So our clicker is used as our reward marker throughout training. It lets the puppy know that they got it right, and it'll always be followed by a piece of food. But when we first start training with them, they don't know what this clicker is and what it means. So when we charge our clicker, it is just so that Jelly has a really solid association between hearing the click and getting a piece of food. I'm not asking him for any behaviors. I am not even really gonna say his name. I'm just gonna click and give him a piece of food, and we'll repeat that maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. So 1 click, piece of food. And then I'm gonna move a little bit because I want him coming to me for the food. What a good boy. Good job, Jelly. Good job. We'll do one more. Good job, bud. Okay, right from here, we're gonna move into following a food lure. So food luring is how we get our puppies to do a lot of different positions. So you'll see in a minute when we work on sit, I'm gonna use a food lure to get them into the sit. We can use it for our downs. We can use it for a lot of different things. But we first have to make sure that our puppies are good at following a food lure before we can use it to get them into different positions. So when I am using a food lure, I will hold it nice and flat in the palm of my hand with my thumb, okay? Instead of holding it like this. If we're holding our food like this, it is really just going to encourage our puppies to bite at our fingers. So nice and flat in the palm of our hand, holding it with our thumb, and then our palm is going to be facing the dog. So the goal is that I want Jelly to stay connected to that piece of food the whole time we're moving, okay? So I'm going to show it to Jelly. He's going to start to lick at it. Then I'm just going to take a couple of steps. He moves with me. I will click and release that piece of food to him. And then if I want him to move forward, same thing. I want the palm always facing the dog. So if we're going forward, my palm will be facing back because he'll be back behind me. Good job, buddy. I'll show that to you again, nice and flat in my hand. Showing it to Jelly first, let him start to lick it before we even start moving. And then just a couple of steps, click and release the piece of food. I do like to practice this with both hands just to make sure that my puppy is comfortable following a food lure no matter if it's in my left or my right hand. Good job, buddy. And criteria for this week is I just want him taking a couple of steps with me. We'll do a few more here. Hi, bud. Good job, Jelly. Then we also started to pair this with the puppy's names. So this is a really nice way to start to work on name recognition. And it's gonna be like the very beginnings of teaching our dog a recall, okay? So it's gonna be the same thing, but I'm going to say his name as we're moving. Then after a couple additional steps is when I'll stop, mark with the clicker, and release the piece of food. Oh, are you yawning? Are you tired? So a couple steps. Jelly. Couple more. Click. Reward. Good job, buddy. Jelly. What a good puppy. And again, practicing with both hands. Jelly. Good boy. I want to do one or two more here. You're so smart. Jelly. Jelly. What a good boy. Okay. And then the other thing we started to introduce this week is Get It cookies or OK cookies. So this will be used anytime that we're working on like a stationary position and I want to let my dog release out of that position, or when we start to work on our mat to let our dogs off the mat, or if we need them to move away from us. It's also used to let them know that they can have that food that's on the floor. Okay, so for this, I'm going to show a piece of food to Jelly and I'm going to say okay and just toss it away. If they don't see where it went, I'm going to point to it. So when they're this young, I don't throw it very far because I want to make sure that they're getting to it. As long as it's far enough that they have to take a couple steps away, we're good. Okay. 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 Good job, Jelly. All right, and you'll see what that looks like when we start to work on our sits and the mat this week. So we're going to take a little break. I'm going to see if Jelly's at all interested in playing with the flirt pole again. If not, that's totally fine, but I at least want to offer it. What do you think, bud? What is that? Oh my goodness. Not so much, how about? Oh, maybe. Maybe. What is that? Okay, I think we're just going to move on. Because, yeah, he's not super interested in it. He's kind of going back and forth. Sometimes he's kind of interested, and then not so much. That's okay. Okay, we're going to move on. All right. So the next skill that we worked on with Jelly this week is hand targets. Hand targets are going to kind of look a little bit similar to following a food lure, but we do want to actually disconnect from our dog, and then when they reconnect with our hand is when we're going to mark and reward. So I am going to start by using food to start. I'm going to hold it the same way I was holding a food lure. I'm going to let Jelly lick at it for a moment, but then I'm going to quickly pull my hand back. When he reconnects with my hand is when I'm going to click and release that piece of food to him. Touch. What a good boy. We'll do that again. Touch. Good job. And just like following a food lure, I do like to practice this with both hands as well. Touch. Good job, buddy. Touch. Good boy. And then after we've practiced a couple with the food in my hand, I will try just offering him my flat hand to see if he'll do it. I will still mark and reward after he does the behavior. Jelly, touch. Good boy. What a good man. Jelly, touch. Oh my goodness, good boy. Practicing with both hands. Jelly, touch. Good boy. Good job, buddy. We'll do one more. Jelly, touch. What a good man. Good job, bud. Good boy. Okay. We're going to move on to our sits. So this is the first stationary exercise that we teach these puppies. So I'm going to grab 3 pieces of food here. I'm going to get Jelly following my hand around, and then when I stop, I will use that to lure him into a sit position, okay? So getting him to follow a food lure, and then when I stop, bringing my hand up, sit, clicking when his butt hits the ground, giving him a follow-up cookie for staying in position, and then okay, using that okay cookie to let him out of position. We'll do that again. You're being such a good boy. So let's get him moving around a little bit. What do you think? boy. Okay. We'll do that again. Sit. What a good boy. Okay. We're going to do one more. This looks really nice. You're such a smart boy. Sit. Whoops. Good job. Okay. Good job, Jelly. Nice work, bud. Okay. From here, we're going to move right into our mat exercise. So for this week, when I pull out the mat, the goal is that I just want Jelly to have all 4 paws on the mat. I don't care what position he's in. If he happens to go into a sit or a down position, that's totally fine. That criteria will kind of come into play next week. Okay, so I'm going to grab our mat. I'm going to put it down on the ground, and then as soon as he makes his way over to it, once all 4 paws are on it, that's when I'm going to click and feed him down on the mat. Now, if he's not making his way over to it on his own, I can help him the first couple of times. So I'm going to take a piece of food, lure him over to the mat. Once all 4 paws are on, then I will click. And drop the food right down on the mat. Okay, I'm going to feed him a couple in a row, one at a time. Just encourage him to stay on the mat. And then I'm going to use that okay to let him off the mat. Okay. And then I'm going to move the mat to a different spot. So the goal is that when I move it and put it back down, I want him to make his way over to it on his own. So he was pretty hesitant the first time. I might need to lure him a couple of repetitions in a row before he'll start to just come over to it on his own. What a good man. Notice I'm putting the food right down on the mat. I'm not feeding it directly to him. So I want to build up the value of the mat. Okay. Tossing that okay cookie away. Here, bud. Okay. Moving the mat again. So you can see he's starting to make his way back over all on his own. He's offering me a sit already. What a good boy. Okay. What are you doing, silly? Here. Okay. Go ahead. You're being so silly. Here. There we go. Good boy. Okay, if he won't get off the mat, I can also pick him up and take him off the mat before I move it, okay? So I'm gonna move it again. He makes his way over. Clicking once all 4 are on. Rewarding one in a row, or one after another. Okay. Here. You are so silly. So again, if he won't get off the mat, I'm just going to help him. You are being such a goofball. Okay. We'll try one more here. Going to help him. Feeding one after another. Okay. Okay, I'm going to pick him up off the mat. Good job, buddy. I want to do one more with him. Okay, so you can see he's making his way back to the mat on his own. I don't have to prompt him. I don't have to lure him. But that's our goal for week 1. Okay. Good boy. And hopefully as the weeks go on, he'll get better with that okay cookie and moving a little further away from the mat. All right. And I do pick up that mat and put it away when we're not working with it. Okay, next thing we're gonna work on is getting him dressed in a harness. So no matter what equipment you're using with your dog, collars, harnesses, whatever, we want to make sure that they're comfortable getting dressed in them and that we're able to do it cooperatively. We don't want them to find a lot of conflict in getting their gear on. So for Jelly, since he is so itty bitty, I do like to do this while I'm holding him. Okay? So I'm just gonna get his feet fed through the little holes here, make sure that his elbows are through. We'll connect that Velcro, and then there's a clip on this one as well. So I'll do all of that while I'm holding him. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Okay. And then sometimes when we first put the harness on them, they kind of like stiffen up. So I do like to either do a little bit of play with the flirt pole or work on something that we've already worked on that day. So like maybe I'll start by just having him follow a food lure. So I'll show him that food, get him to take a couple steps with me. Good boy, Jelly. Jelly. What a good boy. We could do a couple hand targets with him. Jelly, touch. Good boy. Jelly, touch. What a good boy. And then maybe we can ask him for a sit as well. What do you think, buddy? Sit. Good boy. Oh my goodness. Okay. Here, get it. Good job, buddy. And then when I am ready to take that harness off, I will take it off the same way I put it on. So I'm just gonna pick him up. And then while he's in my arms, I'll undo the clip and the Velcro. Good man. Good job, bud. Okay, so the last thing we're gonna work on today is body handling. So he is gonna need a lifetime of vet care and grooming. So we wanna make sure that he's confident and comfortable being handled starting at a young age. So when we're working on body handling, it is a little bit more than us just petting our dog, right? It's being able to handle their ears, handle their paws, their tail, and all of that. So I am gonna get down on the floor with him. If you're more comfortable doing this standing up, you could certainly put your dog on a table or something. You just need to make sure that it's safe and that they're not gonna fall off of it, obviously. What a good boy, okay. So let me get down on the floor here. What do you think, bud? All right. Oh, what do I got? What do I got, buddy? So we'll start with handling his ears. So I like to use food for this. I am not going to use my clicker. Couple of reasons. I need two hands to do this. And if I'm clicking really close to his ears, I don't want it to startle him. I'm just going to use a verbal yes for this. So getting him on a piece of food first, and then I'm just going to handle both of his ears. Yes, marking with that yes, giving him a piece of food. What a good boy. Okay. For his tail, I'm just going to slide my hand down his spine and gently lift up his tail. Yes, good boy. So not putting any heavy pressure on his tail, not pulling at it, just a gentle lift. We'll do that again. Yes, good boy. What a good man. When I'm handling his paws, I don't like to go in and reach right for their paws to start. I do like to start up at the top of their leg, slide my hand down, and then pick up a paw. Yes, good boy. We'll do that with all four paws. What are we doing? Are you sliding? Hey, bud. Are you sliding on the floor? Yes, there we go. Good boy. What do you think, bud? Yes, good boy. Get that last paw here so you can see. Yes, what a good man. Okay, we also work on some light restraint as well. So you'll see this done commonly at the vet when they're administering vaccinations or throughout their exam. So for this, I'm getting him licking that piece of food, and I'm just gonna slide my hand underneath his belly. Yes, good boy. So not putting any upwards pressure on him, not lifting him up off the ground, just wanting to get him used to feeling my hand underneath his belly like that. Yes, good boy. We'll do one more. Yes, what a good man. Good job, bud. And then I do like to do a little bit of handling with their eyes and their mouth as well. So for their eyes, I'm really just gently lifting up their eyelid so that I can see their eye a little bit better. Yes, good boy. We'll do the other one. Yes, good man. And then for his mouth, I'm just gently lifting up his lips so I can take a look at his teeth and his gums, okay? Ooh, what's this, buddy? Oh my goodness. So again, using food, getting him interested in the food first, and then going in and handling him. Yes, good boy. Not really doing any duration, just taking a quick look, getting him used to me manipulating his body a little bit here. Yes, what a good boy. Good job, bud. That is it for Jelly's week 1 video recap. In your confirmation email, you should have a link that you can follow. It will take you to a couple handouts as well as some additional training videos. Make sure that you're checking those out because those will give you a lot more detailed information and instruction on everything we've been working on with Jelly in week 1.